Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Saturday, December 12th, 2020, 12/12/2020. That's got to be something, right? Something terrible is going to happen today, probably, because of that. It's got to be. That's the way this year's been going. But that being said, I've actually been having a really good day today. It snowed all last night and all day today, and I love snow. And we played with the kids in the snow all day today, so I've had a lot of fun, but I'm absolutely exhausted. I am so tired. I could go to bed for the day like right now. I've got a cup of coffee, trying to perk myself up. But it's a great kind of tired because I've just been having fun all day. So hopefully you guys are doing well and having fun today too. First, let's say hi to everyone listening on the podcast version of this live stream. Hope you guys are having a good run today, and everyone watching on YouTube after the fact. Welcome. Glad to see you here. All right, we got a question right off the bat from Sabanadzovic Kadir. I think I said that right. Sabanadzovic Kadir. He says, do you think the Adios Pro is a better racing shoe compared to Nike Next Percent or Alpha Fly for overpronators? And that makes the question a lot more interesting because I feel like, I don't know. I'll be doing the testing generally for marathon paces for the Adios Pro versus the Alpha Fly. I wanted to start doing it today, but it snowed like 6 inches overnight. So couldn't do it. But I think generally I'll say for overpronators, I've only had the one run in the Adios Pro so far. But I will say that when I look at my footage running in the Alpha Fly, and I think I'm a pronator. I think I'm a strong pronator. I don't know if I'm an overpronator, but I pronate a lot. And there's a spot above the Zoom Air pocket on the inner or the medial side of the Zoom X foam, right above the Zoom Air pocket. And there's a little like nub that's rubbed off there. And I think what's happening is that Zoom X foam is crashing in on top of the Zoom Air pad. And then that Zoom Air pocket is also like compressing. And it's like, and I don't know if that rubbing is coming from the Zoom X hitting the Zoom Air pocket or that Zoom X compressing all the way to the ground. But I do feel like my pronation is a bit exaggerated in the Alpha Fly. Not as exaggerated as in the RC Elite. That one is super crazy. But I do think that the Adios Pro probably will be a little bit better for an overpronator. That's my kind of like gut reaction to that one. I still need to do more testing in the Adios Pro to kind of see, ultimately what it feels like at marathon paces. But at least for at like threshold pace for me, yeah, I would say that it's a much more stable platform. I didn't see any like crazy crashing in of the foot either way. So I was actually pretty surprised by that. I thought that I would see a lot of like deflection of the foam, but there's not that much, even though it feels pretty soft underfoot. All right, let's see who else we have. We got Daniel Emmon here today listening to the Taylor Swift album. So the new Taylor Swift album is called Evermore. Is that right? And all morning today, I thought that people were, so I wake up early in the morning and I'm like just scrolling through Twitter real quick and everyone's talking about Evermore. And I'm like, wow, everyone's going back, throwback to Evanescence. Like I just in my mind confused Evanescence and the new Taylor Swift album. So I was like, oh, everyone's going back to their throwback like 15 years ago. Awesome. What a coincidence. And then I was like, oh, after like 3 or 4 people tweeted something about it, I was like, no, that's not something. That's something else. So, well, an interesting thing was after I came back from my run today, my daughter was with my wife, and they were playing, hanging out in the morning, playing like a card game or something. And my wife, I think, had put some like Christmas music on, like on Apple Music, just like a random Christmas kind of station thing. And then a song came on. I think it was a new Taylor Swift song. And my wife's like, "What is this?" And my daughter's like, "It's the new Taylor Swift. I heard about it. Let's listen." So, yeah. So we're those old parents were like, "What is this? This isn't Christmas music." And then my daughter's like, no, let me listen. So that's what's going on in our house. BOE says, evening folks, what's going on? And his Dunbar says, hey, Kofuzi and everybody, busy night. So I'm going to be listening in the background. Very cool. Still managed to get a 5K with Pip earlier to keep things ticking over. I'm glad that Pip's paw is doing well. So it seems like the couple of days off did the trick. Jeff Elliott says, hello, everyone. Daniel M says, way to go, Pip. And good job to Innes as well. And DD says, Taylor Swift, is that the name of a new shoe? I need anything that makes me run Swift. I'm sure people know, and I'm this shows how much. Sorry, this shows how much of a not a fan I am. Is Taylor Swift a stage name or is that her real name? Like her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Swift. Like is that right? I'm not sure how does that go. Run Tall with Tim says, I often listen to AC/DC when running. I don't listen to AC/DC while running, but that's a good call. More people should listen to AC/DC while running. I feel like, that would definitely work. And Daniel M says, it is her real name. It's her real name, Taylor Swift. What a great name. I feel like that'd be a fantastic stage name. Yeah, I don't know. Philip Ark says, yo, thanks to the live stream, I found SL20 for $25 at Ross. Oh, man. And he said, but too bad my wide foot didn't properly fit. Gave it to my brother, though. There you go. What a great gift. Passing it on to someone else. That's fantastic. $25. Ross is going crazy. Do you think the people at Ross know? They obviously know that people are going there to flip, right? They've got to know that there's people there doing that. They've got to know that, like, there's other people that, like, that's the whole, like, ethos of the store. People are going there to hunt for bargains. Like, you work for the bargain. That's part of the game. That's part of the draw going there. But do you think when they get a shoe that's, like, good like that, do you think that they know, like, people are going to go nuts over this? And hopefully while they're here, they'll buy a sweatshirt, a pillow, and maybe a suitcase. Like, is that how it goes? Is that the thing at Ross? I don't know. I would love to talk to someone high up at Ross or Marshalls or TJ Maxx or something like that. Jeff Elliott says, I saw AC/DC back in the late 80s. I think it was a Hell's Bells tour, but I'm not sure. That's cool. And Kevin Ankrum says, the new AC/DC album is fantastic to run to. Great cadence. I didn't even know there was a new AC/DC album. That's bizarre. Carlos Rivera says, her real last name is Shrifty. That's funny. Martha says, Mike, how would you compare your pronation in the Next Percent compared to the Alpha Fly? Not to even mention the Adios Pro. I'd have to go look at footage because I haven't run in the Next Percent since the Chicago Marathon. That was the last time I ran in the Next Percent. So that would have been October, like 2 Octobers ago. Yeah, 2 Octobers ago. I think that I'm overpronating more in the Alpha Fly. I don't feel like I am. Like, my body doesn't feel it. My legs and ankles don't feel it. But the foot, like, from the footage, it just is really clear that there's a lot of overpronation going on in that shoe. But I also feel like with a lot of these marathon super shoes, like those super squishy foams and a carbon fiber plate, like the pronation, I feel like it looks worse than it is. But then I guess people that have really clean foot strikes, they're still looking clean. It's not like people with clean foot strikes are all of a sudden like, going all wonky, or maybe they are. But I don't know. I don't feel a huge difference in terms of like how much my foot is rolling around, but like I've noticed, or maybe I'm just more like perceptive of it now. I could see it better, but I think it's worse. The pronation is more pronounced. Not to say better or worse, but more pronounced in the Alpha Fly. Just because I think especially with the dual densities of like the Zoom Air and then the Zoom X right on top, I think that's also like doing stuff to it too. I don't know. James Baker says, "Let's listen to Rage Against the Machine while running today." Oh, I used to listen to like Rage like just nonstop in high school. That was like that was a daily dose for me. Something, yeah. Those bring back memories. And Jeff Elliott says, I just found out that Andy FOD is vegetarian and I had no idea. I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. And CV76 says, Kofuzi is a stage name. It is a stage name. It's a pseudonym. What movie is that from? It's a pseudonym. What's a pseudonym? Is that from Who's the Man? What movie is that from? Anyone get that? Louis Becerra says, yo, what's going on? Late, but made it. Good to have you here. And Adam Steve said, hi all, did anyone see the new black and white colorway of the Hyperion Tempo? Looks like they made it specifically so you'll go and want to eat it. I don't think I've seen, there's a white one that Andy, speaking of FOD Runner, I think Andy has that one. What's the color on the bottom of that one? Is that black? I don't remember. It's like a cookies and cream, so maybe that's that one. But yeah, I don't know if I've seen that one. I'll have to double check. David Sinclair says, "What's your New Year's resolution?" Oh, I was thinking about it today. One of my New Year's just personal resolutions is going to be to make sure things don't bleed from one thing to another, time wise. So, for example, today's video got out at noon, right? And that's because I had started working on it last night. I should have really been working on it for a couple of days. It's something that I could have been doing, working on bit by bit over the last few days, and I didn't. And so I got up at 4:30, maybe 4:45 today, worked on it for an hour and a half, went for my run, then came back, played with the kids outside for a little bit in the snow, and then I worked on it for another 2 hours on a Saturday, prime family hanging out time. And I guess I could have released it tomorrow. That wouldn't have hurt. But I also just felt like if I don't release it today, it'll take me 2 hours to get it done today. If I put it off till tomorrow, it'll take me another 3 hours to get it done, just because that's, you lose momentum. And but I think one of my New Year's resolutions is going to be when it's time to be done with something, I'm going to be done with it. And if it just didn't go out today, it didn't go out today. Because I think I'm having a hard time with some boundary issues. Not those kinds of boundaries, just like demarcating this is this time and that is that time. So I think that's going to be one of mine. It's not going to be one of my running goals. I'll make a running goals video, but in terms of one of my workflow kind of things that I think I'm going to work on, that's definitely going to be it. So that's it. Oh, Jeff Elliott says, I think Jordan Thomas just reviewed the cookies and cream Hyperion Tempo. Is that what we're talking about, the black and white one? Yeah, I've seen that one. That looks good. I wouldn't want to eat that foam, but when I see it, I think cookies and cream, and I'm like, tasty. So every version of the Hyperion Tempo ends up with me thinking about something to eat, I think. Daniel M. Pseudonym. Is it from Scary Movie? I don't remember. I'll have to follow up on that one, guys. I don't know. But yes, Jeff Elliott, Jordan Thomas did just review it. I haven't seen that video yet. I gotta go check it out. He's been putting out a lot of content lately. He's been putting in some work. So everyone go check him out. He does good stuff. His B-roll is fantastic. Such a natural video storyteller. Yeah, James Baker said there's a Hyperion Tempo with the yellow midsole. I think the upper is great. I think they did it to match the Hyperion Elite, which I feel that's how they should have done it to begin with. Both of them should have either the Hyperion Elite 2 should have come out in blue with the black upper, or the Hyperion Tempo should have come out with the light gray and the yellow. But I think it's all right. Just I love the fact that they can color that foam in these vibrant colors. They're as bright as a memory, to put it in a kind of very flowery kind of way. It pops the way that a memory of a color pops. And I don't know. I'm just loving that foam. Okay. Yeah, Martha said the second Hyperion Tempos came in white with the blue midsole. Then they came out with the same with the red midsole. Oh, yeah. They came out with so many good colors. Remy said the New Year's resolution, 8K. Nice. Wow. Yeah, I'm still making videos in 1080, though. So it'll be a while for me to get there. Roberto Davila made it to the end of the video today. He said, love the evolution of the co-stash at the end of the video. Yeah, it just, the way it turned out. So I went back and I got all my videos that I'd made for the different Max Cushion shoes of the year. And it started from last December, a year ago, until the last one I think was the Hoka, the Bondi 7, 100 mile. And so it went from no clean shaven to full mustache. So that was kind of a fun thing. I put a little bit of Easter egg at the end of the video today. I had fun with that one. I was thinking about weaving it more throughout the entire video, but I think that would have gotten really confusing. So, but I did have fun with it at the end. And then Sharma says, "Hi Sarah, love the way you shoot your videos." Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much. I have a lot of fun with it, and I hope that comes out in the videos. Okay. Pablo Lopez says, what's the best HR strap in terms of quality price relationship? I like the Polar H9. I feel that's a really good price for the quality. It doesn't have things it can't store, your heart rate you can't use it like without a watch or without a phone, and you can't send to like multiple devices. Like if you have a coach who's like looking at your laps and splits in real time, like that kind of thing, like some of the Polar H10 can do. But the Polar H9 I feel like is a good one. The Wahoo Ticker also is a really good value, but it's big. It's really big. My favorite one, actually I don't have it. I think I do have it with me, is the one from Sunto, although I don't think they make it anymore. It's tiny. It's really small. I think it's about as small as a heart rate monitor can be. So if you want something that's not going to be like a big like plate on your chest, that's the one to get to. And that one's pretty cheap. So they all work kind of, I mean, I don't think that the technology is that sophisticated or that different between the brands. I haven't been able to detect it. So, those are some that I like. Run Tall with Tim says the Adios Pro is surprisingly stout midsole for all of the foam underfoot. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I was worried that it was going to be really firm because I remember when that first came out, I mentioned this either in the live stream or in the video about the shoe, that some of the Tinman Elite runners were like, yeah, it's a nice firm midsole. I like it. It's good for running really fast. And I was like, oh, translation, this shoe's not that great. Like a couple of pros will really like it, but like regular people will hate it. That's what I took from that. That's how I translated that. And then looking at people running in it, I'm like, that's not squishing. So like, I don't know how squishy that shoe is going to be, but running in it, I feel like there's a lot of squish in the shoe. So it feels soft to me underfoot. And I mean, frankly, it reminds me the most of the Next Percent. Like I feel like the underfoot feeling, it's super similar. Just because like I felt like the ZoomX foam in the Next Percent was a little bit firmer than it was in the. I feel like the 4% ZoomX foam was the squishiest, then a little bit firmer in the Flyknit, and then a little bit firmer still, maybe even a lot firmer in the Next Percent, and then it got squishy again for the Alpha Fly. And so I feel like the Adios Pro, the entire like the midsole, all of it together, reminds me a lot of the Next Percent. And even like the bounciness at like warm up paces, that little like tap you get with it, reminds me very similar. It's not firm. It's not like the Hyperion Elite 1. It's not like running on anything that's going to be super. It's not like running in a racing flat either. So it's like the looks are deceiving. La Pizza de Famille said La Famille de Famille. I don't know. Hopefully I said it right. Said just got different speeds. I'm excited. It's a good shoe. I really like it. So here's the thing. I'm debating this next week. So I did the top 5 daily trainers, top 5 speed shoes, and top 5 max cushion shoes. I was going to do top 5 marathon racers, but I feel like I'm still in the middle of testing, kind of like the Adios Pro. And then if I do like Adios Pro versus Alpha Fly, I mean, kind of to tip my hand, and then do like the top 5 marathon racers in like the same week, like if I do those 2 videos in the same week, it seems kind of like, redundant. So I don't know. But then like I was thinking of then, do I do like a best of video, like best shoe of the year, like overall, and then like best brand of the year, best like running watch, like just do a kind of like a superlative video. But then if I do that, then to go back and then do I do the marathon racers? I don't know. So I've just got some programming questions and I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But when you said endorphin speeds, that made me think about shoe of the year. Dio Rafael Ma says, good morning from Philippines, Mike. Good morning. And Namit Sharma says, what would you recommend between the SL20 and the Peg 37? I think that I don't like the SL20 for every day. Peg 37 strikes me more as an everyday shoe that has a little bit more versatility to it. So depending on what you're looking for, the Peg 37 might be your choice. But the SL20, I think, is a better speed shoe than the Peg 37 is. So it depends really what you need. But without further information, I don't know, I have a soft spot. I love both of those shoes. I love the Pegasus and I love the SL20. The Peg 37, though, this year was not my favorite. So I might give it to the SL20 this year. I'm not sure. Daniel M says, what would you prefer as a speed trainer, the Carbon X or the Rocket X? I would probably prefer the Rocket X as a speed trainer. I mean, you could race in the Rocket X as well, but my still relatively early sentiments on the Rocket X are that I still wanted to have more pop. It's more Carbon X than it is Carbon Rocket. So I wish it were more Carbon Rocket, but that's more my preference in terms of carbon plate feel. And maybe like the like quote unquote like typical Hoka runner that they're designing for doesn't like that pop or that push, so that's maybe why the Carbon X turned out the way it did and the Rocket X turned out the way it did. But then there's some people that love and think that the Rocket X is perfect. Like I think Andy loves that shoe. And I mean, the guy's fast, so I'm not gonna argue with him on that, but it's just not what I love. So but yeah, I think the Rocket X though to that extent is better because the midsole foam I think is a lot more forgiving. The ProFly X is not soft. It's a firm midsole material, and it works if you're in the right flow with that shoe. That shoe's all about smoothness for me. And if you're not hitting it right, it can be a little bit jarring. Carl J, most improved shoe? Most improved, like a rookie of the year, then you could have like, the Nova Blast would be in there, but then like Endorphin Speed's in there too. So there's like a lot of like rookie shoes, most improved. I don't know. See, I think that if you looked at the most improved, I would probably have to, I think a lot of those Asics Light versions, do you consider those like the Gel Nimbus Light versus the Gel Nimbus? Is that an improvement over the Gel Nimbus, or I don't know. So like that could get a little confusing, but yeah, I like, I'll probably put in like, I might have like a, an honorable mention for best brand, like most improved brand of the year. But so I like those ideas. Frank says, what's the shoe of the century so far? The next percent? Yeah, I don't know. Shoe of the century. I'd probably say Pegasus 33 Shield. That's my sentimental favorite. I love that one. Gal Shakifi says, do you have any tips to prevent marathon injuries? I would say build up mileage slowly. So that's the thing. Yeah, I think it's easy to ramp up. And I think my first marathon that I ever trained for, I hit all the mileage that I was supposed to hit. But like I won the battle but lost the war because I completed the plan properly, but I got to the starting line a little bit injured. So like, the tip would be like, keep your eye on the prize. And, it's better to be fit and feeling good than it is to have like checked all the boxes. So it's really hard to know when to pull back, especially when you're training for your first marathon. I don't know if that's the case for you, but like that's what I would say is, take on more with caution. I think that's how I would say it. Orange Goblin said, as a modest pace runner, 8:20 half marathon pace, is a carbon plated shoe worth the investment? I will say yes, but it depends. I would say there's lots of other things that you can invest in as well. So when I say yes, it's assuming, you've done, you worked on consistency, you've worked on training for multiple seasons in a row, without taking too many very long breaks, like working on that lifetime mileage, like all those things. And then I wouldn't say like, all right, so you want to run a half marathon. Number one, go out and buy a carbon plated shoe. That's not how it works. Like buying the carbon plated shoe is like the last step, because that's something that you can go out and do like a week, 2 weeks before the marathon. You could do it like, in the case of like when the Vaporfly Flyknit came out, you can buy that 2 days before your marathon and race your marathon. There's other things that you could do 20 weeks before your marathon or half marathon. There's things you do 6 months before, if you're into it that long. If this is your first time and you're like just trying to figure stuff out, don't worry if you haven't done the 6 month stuff, but there's stuff that you could do 12 weeks out, 8 weeks out, 4 weeks out. And then there's stuff that you can do like the week of, make sure you're eating right, try to get the right, like, make sure you're protecting your sleep even more cautiously then. But like that kind of thing. So like, yeah, I think it is. But not all carbon plated shoes are going to give you a benefit. And that's where I do feel like the Vaporflies are really unique, is that I feel like people at almost all levels can benefit from the way that carbon is tuned in there. It's really nice. It helps people at a variety of skill levels. Other carbon plated shoes are not necessarily like that. And there's a handful, a very rare few that I feel like I don't know if I could see that the shoe's good, but it's not really helping me. But the Vaporflies are one that I think are not like that. Endorphin Speed is another one that I think lots of people can use it really well. By the way, I just got distracted. I just saw a hawk fly by the window. And while I was outside with the girls playing in the snow, we saw 2 bald eagles fly overhead, like really low too. So it got to the point where I was like, oh, the baby has like a hat, like a gray hat with like palms on it. So I was like, did they think that was a bunny? Were they about to swoop down and pick up my child? Like, so I was like, I don't know. But yeah, there's birds of prey out and about today. All right. Joey Del Rosario says, Kofuzi, you're going to try the SL20.2. Yeah. I think I'm probably going to wait till after the new year, because I just got kind of going along with my New Year's resolution of like, like keeping things in their boxes, like, and not overextending myself on stuff. Like, I think I've got 2 brand new shoes in the basement right now that I haven't even filmed the B-roll for yet. So like, that's going to keep me busy for a while. I still have like 12 different carbon plated shoes that I still want to run more miles in. So there's lots of work I got to do. So fun work, definitely fun. But like, I think like I'm not, as much as I like the SL20, I'm not in a huge hurry to try the SL20 version 2. Just because part of it is kind of annoyed that like, they're still so confused about what Adidas is doing with these SL20s. Like, why is there a new one already? I'm not sure. Especially since we just started like the podcast with someone getting them for $25 at Ross. So I don't know. Really weird. Roadrunner Review says, what place did Bondi 7 come in? I just got mine a few days ago, and man, did they have some room in the toe box. I also tried on the V version 10s the other day, 1080s, and was hating that I did not get that one. I mean, I don't rank them after number 1, but I would probably put it in at 3. So I'd probably put like 1080 version 10, Triumph 18, and then Bondi 7 in terms of my max cushion shoes. But if you're the type of person that likes kind of like the traditional max cushion and not like the new kind of max cushion, then I would say that the Bondi 7 easily is the best one. And there's nothing else I think that's like it. So, I mean, I think that there's an Ultra that has more cushion than the Torin. I tried the Torin. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I'm still not a huge fan of that one. But like, I don't know what the Ultra like super max cushion shoe is. That probably I would anticipate feels something like the Bondi. So I think that is a unique. It's still like carrying on that legacy, but it's not my favorite style of shoe. So like personally, I don't love them, but it's doing a really great job at what that's trying to do. Like it's executing exactly what it's trying to do really well. So I do like the Bondi 7 a lot. It's just not my favorite style. Kiefer says, we late today or what? No, man, I've been here. I've been here since 3. I don't think I was late. That's a nice picture here. You got the Ben Parks hat on? That's a Ben Parks hat, right? Looks good. Nice. Aquarismo de Resultado. What shoes do you think is a good shoe for my first marathon? My idea is to run in 4 hours. A great 4-hour marathon shoe. I mean, I think that if you want to go out and get a carbon plated racer, I think that's fine to do. I don't think there's any problem with that. I think that the other thing to do would be to get something that's kind of in the speed shoe category. So my top shoe in that category is the Endorphin Speed. That's one that I really enjoy. I think that would be a great one as well. Boston 9, Hyperion Tempo. Those will all be really good choices. Shoes that are still fast, but have a little bit of more cushion than say like a race shoe might. Although that's hard. It's hard to say that anymore these days, because these days the race shoes are the thickest shoes that we have. But so something that has more, thickness to the midsole and more cushion than say like a racing flat. So those are ones that I would look at. Jeff Elliott says, I don't want to spend $150 on the 1080 V10s when I can spend $160 on another pair of Endorphin Speeds. That is a good point. But I do kind of use those as like in opposite ways, though. You know what I mean? So it goes kind of back to the question that, who was it, William Lee yesterday that asked, like, what would you do if you had $300 to spend on a year of running? Like, that'd be a tough one. Because if you bought a 1080 V10, that could probably last you half the year. I don't know. But then again, I was looking at my Strava numbers. I ran a lot of miles this year. So like I have to go look at that again. I think I'm well over 2,400 miles for the year. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. But so I don't know if I can get a pair of 1080 V10s to like 12, if I can run with that for half a year. That's a lot of miles. That'd be quite a challenge. But I mean, the dollars per mile, pretty good if I could do that. If I get anywhere near that even. Gulshan Paul said, "What's the most cushioned shoe for mixed trail and road running?" I really enjoy. So that's like my favorite kind of trail shoe. So I would say right now I'm running in the Fresh Foam More. That one is very cushioned. I like it a lot. I wasn't sure when I ran in it if I was running on Fresh Foam or Fresh Foam X. So it very much reminded me of the 1080. But basically, if you put like lugs on a 1080 is what it felt like running in that shoe. So I do like that one quite a bit. But it's not the most like trail. It's got lugs on it, but it depends on like how technical your trails are going to be. I also really like, my favorite probably is the Torrent 2. I like that one a lot. It's got deep lugs, so it's still not going to be something that you're using for scrambling, like if you're like really doing a super intense run. But for anything that I can handle, it can definitely suit all of my needs, and it doesn't seem awkward on the road. So I really like that one a lot. All right. Cycling fan said, "Was the Asics Nova Blast considered for your cushion shoes video?" I didn't include it in there. I already talked about it in the Daily Trainer video because that's where I think it really fits. But that's also like the beauty of that shoe is because some people are using that for their workout days, and some people are using that only for like their max cushion type of days. And so like it can handle it all. I guess I could have considered it in there, but I think if I did, then it would have been like, it probably would have won just because I do like that shoe a lot. But yeah, it wasn't. I didn't really think of it as in there. Jeff says he's got 373 miles in the 1080, and the rubber is actually missing in one part of the forefoot. Really? Oh, wow. That's a surprise. And Frank's helping me out with that Ultra. The Ultra Olympus is the thick boy from Ultra. Maybe I need to try that one. Maybe I'll try that one because that, I don't know. The Torin and I are not getting along. So it's been 20 miles so far. So I might have to try something else. Mark Ramdara says, "Love your videos. Dope GoPro video action shots." Thanks so much, Mark. Thanks for stopping by the live stream as well. Yeah, and Saban Dazovic says endorphins might actually work. We'll have to try them. Yeah, the Endorphin Speed, I'm a big fan of that shoe. I think it can be so many things, that shoe, for so many people. And so that's the other thing that I think is remarkable about it. And it's only, in air quotes, $160. So like that's still a lot. I mean, 3 or 4 years ago, $160 would have been unthinkable for a running shoe. But I mean, for something that you can race in, $160 is a really, really good price. All right. Nimit Sharma says, I need a daily runner. I'm really new to running. I do 1 kilometer in 6.5 minutes, so approximately 4 miles. Hence, confused between PEG versus SL20 versus Nova Blast. Okay. That clears it up for me then. If you're just looking for a shoe to start running in, if you're really new to running, welcome to the sport. I hope you really enjoy your time. And I think that I would look at the Pegasus or the Nova Blast first. Those are the two that I would look at. I really wouldn't look at the SL20 quite yet, because I think that when you're just running at you're just going out for a run, like regular speed, it's going to feel a little bit firm, and I don't know if you'll love it. But the Pegasus and the Nova Blast are ones that I would like. If you want something that feels a little bit speedier, the Pegasus. If you want something that's a little bit more cushion and just going to be easier on your body, then the Nova Blast. That's how I'd pick. Raymond Galicia says, Torn is weird on the road for me. Seems clunky, but I ran with them on a treadmill and loved it on there. I think I would like it on a treadmill too, but it seems weird to buy a shoe that has that much stack height to go on a treadmill. That doesn't make sense to me. But yeah. So, but I think I would like it there. I mean, I think it looks great. I don't like the outsole. I don't like it when things get too literal and it's got the rubber lining up with your feet bones and your metatarsals, So I just don't. I don't know. It's weird, but I like the design of it. It doesn't look like a foot-shaped toe box kind of shoe. It just looks like a regular running shoe. I like it, but it's not liking me back. So I wish it did. And Carrie Smith said, finally purchased a Nova Blast. Looking forward to it living up to the hype. I hope it does. I hope it doesn't disappoint. Whenever someone says something like that, finally bought the XYZ, and I'm like, oh, I really hope you like it. So I hope you like yours, Carrie. You'll have to let us know how it goes. What Frank said, I did actually marathon PR this morning on the first run in the speeds just now. All right. Awesome. We're going to get the cowbell out for that. Whoa. Frank burying the lead. He's been hanging out here for 37 minutes, and all of a sudden he's like, yeah, by the way, I just ran the fastest marathon I ever ran before today. Nice work. Jody says, the New Balance 880 is still my favorite daily runner. That one, I mean, I like the look of it this year, but I just don't know if that's the right one for me. Yeah. But I think that I feel a feeling though that the 880 is highly underrated. That's my kind of gut on it. So I'm probably missing out. Let's see. Yeah, Carrie Smith says, Frank is a beast. Follow him on Strava. I think I just followed Frank just recently for some reason. I thought I had already been following him on Strava, but I think I just recently did. Roadrunner D says, I like the Atreyu for treadmill work. The cushion has not been molding to my feet like others have been describing. Yeah, with the Atreyu, I just feel like the same thing. I think I would love it as a gym shoe, but underfoot for me, it just hasn't been enough. I don't know if I've run up to a half marathon in it, and I've run like a 5 mile run in it. And I need to find the right groove for me. There's a lot that's good about it, but there's something that's always just it's like when you eat something, you're like, this is missing an ingredient. What is it? Does it need garlic? Is that what's going missing? More salt? I don't know. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Ron. All right. Cycling Fan, thanks for the super chat. He says, thanks for answering. I'm buying it right now. Well, I hope you enjoy. Awesome. Thanks. And thanks for the super chat. Awesome. All right. Francisco Antonio de la Vaga says, what are your thoughts on the Nike Zoom Fly 3? Thanks. I think the Nike Zoom Fly 3 is a lot of fun. I think that, granted, I haven't tried the Tempo Next Percent, but until the Next Percent had come out, I felt like the Zoom Fly 3 and the Zoom Fly 3 and the Vaporfly Next Percent were the two closest in feel in terms of racing shoe and training companion. For example, I thought the Vaporfly Flyknit and the Zoom Fly Flyknit they were both fun shoes, but they didn't feel similar to me at all. I felt like the Zoom Fly 3 and the Next Percent were actually a lot closer in feel. But so I really enjoyed it. But I do feel like there was something going on with like that much React midsole foam underneath. It started bothering like the pad of my foot, like right here on your feet, you know, before your toes, like that part. On long runs, it would start to bother me. So like, I really wanted to love the shoe, and when it worked for me, it really worked. But when it didn't, it didn't. So that was something that's unique to me. But I've also seen other people experience it too. So just something to watch out for there. But my favorite of the Zoom Flies is the Zoom Fly Flyknit. And maybe it's because I love Flyknit so much, but I do like that Zoom Fly Flyknit. And he says, see, cyclists are nice people. I know they are. You don't have to tell me. I didn't go out on the bike today though, Remy. I was thinking about the bike or running, but I decided to go out and run in the snow today. I did have a really good time though. And I'm glad that I went out in trail shoes. I went out in the Brooks Catamount today. And I'm really glad that I did, because I was thinking, well, maybe what happens if you put Adios Pro in the snow? I was slipping around in the Catamount. So like if I tried to go out there and like racing slicks, that would have been a disaster. And there was like 20-mile headwinds. So it was a pretty rough run. Daniel Magor says, hi, Kofuzi. I've been watching your videos a lot recently as I started running. Well, that's fantastic. He says, I think I did too much too soon and got shin splints bad. Just recovered and getting back into running. Any tips? For shin splints, I like heat and ice. Heat before the run, ice after the run. And then if you really need to, some Advil doesn't hurt. Although, I mean, some people may or may not want to treat shin splints with Advil, but that's something that you can do. My understanding of shin splints is that you can't make them worse by running on them. So it's a discomfort issue. And it's not going to be, it's not like you're running on like a stress fracture. Although I feel like shin splints, aren't they considered like micro stress fractures or something? But you're not going to make them worse, in my understanding. And I've been meaning to watch it. It's in my watch now or watch later list on YouTube. Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet. I feel like I talk about them every day now. They just made a video, or it popped up in my algorithm, something that you can do to help with your shin splints. I'm not sure what it was, but we'll have to go check it out. I'll definitely go check that out tonight. But if you want to look up Bob and Brad and shin splints, I'm sure you'll find it. So that's something else you can look at. And Scotty B says, Zoom Fly 3 worked for his half marathon today and subsequent stop to the liquor store. Nice, multifunction. Gotta love that. I feel like we have to figure out a term for that. Like running your race and then going to get booze. Cause like they have like the athleisure clothes where like you're going to your group fitness class and then going to brunch afterwards. Like then like racing and liquor and booze. There's got to be we got to figure out some sort of like term for that. But yeah, that's nice. I'm glad to know that they work at the liquor store. Ben Browning is here. Says hi everybody. Good to see you again, Ben. Welcome. Raymond says, now I have Bob and Brad's theme song stuck in my head. It's so catchy. It's really funny. The thing that I love about it is like that they probably made it when they were like, just like two dudes making videos on the internet, and now it seems like a weird flex because they have like 2.4 million followers or something like that. So it's like, yeah, you have 2.4 million followers. Okay. Like you made a song about how great you are, and you got to think about it. Like they made that, like 7 years ago, probably. Life Love says, hi, Mike, how's your knee update? It's great. I think I'm just about 100%, but what I've noticed though is I'm very attuned now to when my hips are very tight, when my glutes aren't feeling as activated as they normally are. Like I'm very aware. So I'm doing a lot of like, I don't know if you saw me like throughout the course of like if I were like on a reality TV show, there would be a super clip of me like stretching in weird positions, like random places, like in the middle of the kitchen, in the living room, watching TV, like going up the stairs and stopping halfway. Like I'm just doing weird stuff like that. But I'm noticing, I think maybe I'm more in tune to my body, but I also know what it feels like to be right again, And so like, I also know like what were the motions that would like trigger like discomfort. And I'm also like constantly testing like, oh, okay, the knee felt good there, feel good there, you know. So, but I'm feeling great, putting in a lot of miles, overdoing it like I normally do again, you know. So I'm right back to like my normal stuff. But now I'm stretching, I'm doing leg strength, I'm doing mobility, so activating glutes, feeling good. Thank you for asking. Steven C 1984 says boo shoes, trap for shots is Daniel M. There we go. I like those. Simone Bucca says, Kofuzi, have you ever been to Italy? I have not. I would love to. Yeah, I really want to go. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I want to eat a margarita pizza in Naples. You know, like I want to have like I want to eat a real pizza. I feel like I've not eaten a real pizza before, so I want to eat a real pizza. And you know, and eat other stuff too. But like the pizza is like the main thing that I want to have a pizza pilgrimage first. And then, you know, I love Roman history, so I'd love to go see some ruins, and I just think it'd be fantastic to go check out. Yeah, someday. My in-laws are like dying to go as well. They've had a cruise booked. They've booked and rebooked a cruise to the Mediterranean multiple times now. It just keeps getting canceled because of COVID. And they're like, we're never going to get to go. But they've just been dying to go. They're like, we were supposed to see Italy. They would have been in Italy in a couple of weeks. But or they also would have gone in like September as well. So like there was a couple of times that they were going to do it, but it's just not working out for them. But hopefully sometime we'll all make it. I don't know about necessarily together, but we'll all, you know, that they get to go on the trip that they've been wanting to do, and you know, I can take my family maybe. That'd be great. Jeff Belly says, I often go to the grocery store after hard efforts at the local park. I'll be walking around in calf sleeves, above singlet, the whole deal. That's funny. I was looking at Shannon's Instagram yesterday, and she was like, yeah, I'm wearing like calf sleeves and arm sleeves today. And she was at the gym doing her pull-ups. And I've been at that position before where I'm like, oh, I wore calf sleeves and arm sleeves today. And every time I do that, and I think about this anytime I put on calf sleeves, I'm very aware of like what else I wear. Because I feel like if you wear calf sleeves and then you wear arm sleeves, it just looks like you used to be tiny and then you got put into like a giant ray, and like all of a sudden you grew a lot and now nothing fits anymore. So I always get that. Or I worry about that, like sometimes when I'm layering, if I wear long tights and then shorts on top, then I'll make sure not to wear like, sometimes I'll do a long sleeve with a t-shirt on top. Like I make sure not to do that, because then it looks like I just expanded out of my clothes, or at least I think that I look that way. So yeah, that's something that goes through my mind every time I put on calf sleeves. Does anyone else have that? That's just me. It's got to be just me. Because who would think, oh, that guy must have been shot with an enlarging ray, an embiggening ray. Yeah, you know, so no one else thinks that. Stephen C. 1984 said, what song is the outro to your video? What's going on? It's by Jim Yosef. I forget what the name of it is, actually. I've been using it for so long. But I've been using it as the outro for years now. Yeah, but I like it. It was just one, I knew that I wanted to have a song that had a brief portion at the beginning that would be like a quick cut from like the end of the video to like, and that's when it goes, yo, what's going on? And then there's music. So I wanted to have like something with a cut there, and then something that like hit really hard right after that. So like quick, quiet, quick noise. And that was something that was just like kind of like in my rotation of songs that I was using. And I was like, this one works. We'll do it. And so I've just been keeping it since then. Yeah, and Daniel M saying like, if I wore too many sleeves, it'd be like I hulked my clothes. Yeah, that probably makes more sense. Not that hulking my clothes literally would make sense, but yeah. Yeah. Mark Ramdara says same thing. Like you're mid hulking out, especially if you're in foreign shorts. Mike Remy says 2 in shorts at the post-run brunch is tough. I keep basketball shirts in the car on those days. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. See, that's where some of the Path Project shorts come in handy, because they're a little bit longer. And that's also why I like a 5-inch short. I think a 5-inch short is versatile in that kind of way. It's a little bit short for sitting down somewhere else, but you can do it. And it's still, you know, a good length to run in. Jeff Elliott says, I've been thinking about getting arm sleeves. I want to wear a singlet, but it's slightly too cold. Yeah, I mean, I think people tease that look. They're like, yeah, singlet and arm sleeves for the days when like your shoulders are hot. So people tease it, but it totally makes sense to me. And I've definitely done that before. I like the arm sleeves. I've worn them on day. I like them because there's like an SPF factor to it, and I hate putting on sunscreen. So like there's times where I'll put it on just to like I'll just wear it to cover my arms up. It's that way I don't have to put on sunscreen. And like it's supposed to, some of the way that they're advertised on like Amazon, they're like, use this arm sleeve to keep your arm warm, or use this arm sleeve to keep your arm cool, because they're the evaporative cooling effect. So it can go both ways, I think. So, but for me, I'm normally thinking about, because I want to be a little bit warmer. But arm sleeves, at least the ones that I buy on Amazon, are cheap enough that like if I were wearing them at a race and it were chilly to start, I could do the singlet, wear the arm sleeves, get rid of them, and then in the middle of the race, and I'm not out a whole bunch. So that's kind of one of the things that I would think about for that. Right. Amira M, split shorts or tights, the eternal question. Not for me. It's easy. I'd rather have tights. But people that love their split shorts love their split shorts, don't they? But I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't know why. Yeah. Daniel Magor says, got the endorphin shift 1 week ago. Loving them as a good all-rounder shoe. I have those downstairs. I've run in them a couple of times, and they're an interesting shoe. I felt very tall in them, but I felt like it really encouraged a fast turnover. So I was like, there's something here. I will eventually get to them. I've been taking a little bit of a break from some of the Saucony shoes, but I think I'm ready. Going back to like my knee feeling better, I think I'm ready to put more of them in the rotation. I've been running in the Triumph 18 and feeling good. So yeah. Martha says, Mike, after your weird runners vid, I checked out Emma Abrahamson and watched a video of her testing 8 cold brew coffees. It's hilarious. She's funny. She's really funny. Yeah, I like Emma, and I really enjoy her humor, and yeah, I'm glad that other people like it too. So that's good. I haven't watched the cold brew one, but she's loved cold brew has been like a theme on her channel for the last several years, since like back in college. So when she was in college, so it's nice that she is continuing that trend, and I feel like it's also like a theme. Like anytime like a coffee is like mentioned, like the comments, there's tons of comments that are like correspond to like the people are relating to the cold brew coffee in her videos somehow. And so the fact that she made like a cold brew taste test is like, the culmination of that. And I feel like what a great video for her to make. Carlos Ceja says, have you ran almost 100 miles in the Meta Racer? I'm at about 65, I think. 65, maybe 75. So I got a decent amount. So, yeah. Scott says, shorts over tights? Sometimes. There's some tights where I like tights where I can just wear the tights. But some tights I think are meant to go underneath tights. And then the other time that I'll always wear shorts over tight is when I'm run commuting and I'm running to pick up the kids. Because I just feel like, I'm going to be in a public school, an elementary school around children. So like, let's cover it up a little bit. Not that like, except for the Tracksmith ones. The Tracksmith ones are a little too tight. They're not too tight, but they're tight in areas that other tights of mine are not tight. So like that one makes me feel a little bit self-conscious when I'm not running. But there are some tights that I like the Roadrunner long tights. I love them. The John G long tights, great. Don't need shorts over those. One of the other ones that I've been running in, I've been running in a pair of Arc'teryx tights. Those actually might be intended as a base layer, but I've been using them as tights. That's fine. But there's some, like especially on Amazon, the ones that like, if there's like the seams like are very clear and look like underwear the way they've seamed, like they cut the seams, then I'm like, they want me to put shorts on top of that. So there's some that I feel like are intended that way. Sometimes it's a little confusing. Like, do they want me to, do they want me to wear shorts on these or not? I don't know. That happens sometimes. Chris Dyke says the Adidas Supernova tights are great. I haven't tried those before. And Scott says TCA. TCA, see, those are confusing to me. Some of them, I'm not sure. I have a pair of full-length tights that are clearly meant for only tights. But then there's other ones, they have base layer ones, the ones that are like in the camo print, that I don't think that those are meant to be run in by themselves, you know. And Ryan Cabal says, have you tried Uniqlo tights? I have a pair of Uniqlo tights. I think I have one with me. I usually wear those underneath. Those seem to me, the way that they're cut, they're like the way that the seams are, you know, I feel like when they're meant to be worn as pants, the seams look a little bit different than that. I think needs to be a video. Pants or base layer. Like I feel like, or maybe that needs to be like an Instagram poll. I don't know. Like pants or underwear. Is this pants or is this underwear? But Alex says short shorts in public aren't much better. Oh, I mean, yeah, that's what, again, why I like the 5-inch short. You know. And Remy says, coming back from a run in 2-inch shorts and a singlet while the moms on my street are waiting at the bus stop with the kids, it's a confidence booster. Well, Remy, I feel like if I look like you too, I'd be like, yeah, you know. But my physique is a little different than yours. So like people would just be like, why would that guy choose? Like if they looked at me, they'd be like, oh, yeah, he must have been coming back from exercising because why would anyone dress like that? That's what people would say about me. You know, for you, they'd be like, oh, that's a good look on that guy. And Runner Dre says it depends on the setting. When I'm at work / school during the week, I don't wear running tights. But on weekends when there's no one around, fair game. Yeah, yep. Daniel Megor says, do you listen to music or anything when you're running? I almost always listen to something. If it's a workout, it's music. If it's anything else, so most of the time I'm listening to podcast or audiobook. So that's what I do. Let's do a couple more. Scott says, please make a tights review video. All right. I don't have that many, but I think the big thing of it would be like, is this underwear or is this pants? This would be the tights video. Yeah. And Christopher Rochelle says, have you tried Wolico tights, waterproof pockets? You know, it never worked out. I was talking with Wolico at one point about like them sending me some stuff to review. And then they're just like, hey, we want to send you stuff. I was like, cool. And then it was like, oh, okay, now that you said yes, like here's 5-6 different things that we'd like for you to do in these things. And I was like, whoa. I mean, I don't know. No, I don't think so. And I was like, well, maybe let's talk about it. And then there was a lot of back and forth. And then I don't know. I think I probably dropped the ball on it because I think they look interesting, but I just ended up never doing it. All right. And Martha says, we'll do this one, the last one for today. The Hoka tights turned out to be great. Side pockets big enough for an iPhone X, one zippered, and they're just slightly looser than most true tights. Oh, really? Oh, I might have to look. I was looking at some of those the other day, and I was like, those look great. I like those. But the Hoka, I have like the track pants, like the old school, like the rain jacket type of material, and I don't love those. And they're a little bit short. And also, like, I just like, oh, maybe the Hoka pants aren't for me. But if you like the tights, maybe I'll have to take a look at those. Do they make them for men too? I don't remember if I was looking at men's tights or the women's tights when I was like, oh, those look like I want that. All right. So I got some things to check out. All right. We're about at the hour mark. I'm going to call it for today. Tomorrow morning, there's going to be no video, but I will do another live stream. Same time, 3 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully, I'll see you guys here again tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today, everybody. And in the meantime, be safe.